We are here with the chairperson of the Board of Boxing South Africa, Mr. Jack. Mr. Jack, first of all, thank you so much for such an informative presentation during this strategy weekend. My first question to you is, what can you share for us and the followers of boxing and stakeholders in boxing about your vision to renew, grow, and transform the sport of boxing?
Thank you so much. Well, basically, our vision is to really ensure that the sport of boxing is run in accordance with the stipulations of the Act as well as the regulations. So the idea about renewal is that of ensuring that we restore the basics of running the sport of boxing. But growth is about really ensuring that the sport of boxing is truly developed right across. For instance, we would want a situation wherein our promoters are trained on how to promote boxing, so that they can then be able to really present to the public quality tournaments. And again, growth is also just about ensuring that the boxer, whom I normally refer to as our product, that we truly take care of their interest. We protect their health. We protect them from exploitation, which is why then we've come up with this idea of from cradle to grave program, which is about really ensuring that we take care of their interests, in totality, not only in terms of honing their boxing capabilities, but also just ensuring that they are prepared for life. In other words, we truly produce champions for life, not champions only during their active boxing life. And then with regards to transformation, we would really want to ensure that the sport of boxing contributes, to the development, to changing lives, to the quality of life. Boxing is a poor man's sport, so we would want boxing to contribute to the quality of life of boxers as well as their families. But we'd also want boxing to contribute, to the development of our economy. It plays a significant role, for instance, in sport tourism. But again, we've got a flagship program around women in boxing. So was historically, boxing has been a male-dominated sport. So we would really want to lift the role of women, in the sport of boxing. So that's basically our vision. So we would want to bring boxing to its historic glory, to be one of the sporting codes, in the country, going back to becoming featuring, in the top three of the most popular sporting codes, in the country. And I believe this is doable, but we can only be able to achieve it if we're focused.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. My second question for you, in your presentation, you mentioned two theories: sport for development and development for sport. Can you just, in summary, elaborate on that, the vision of the chairperson when he mentions two theories of sport for development and development for sport?
All right, let me start with the most easiest, which is sport development, or development of the sport. Basically, that is about really ensuring that we are run as a professional organization that we're supposed to be. Everybody plays according to the rules. We empower our licensees, our officials. They must be on top of understanding the rules of the game. If you are a referee, you must know the ABCs of being a referee. If you are a promoter, you must know the ABCs of being a promoter, and so on and so forth. So it's really about ensuring that we are a well-oiled a machine. If there is going to be a tournament, if a tournament is going to start at 2, it must really start at 2. So it's about sport, developing the sport. It's about truly professionalizing it, and ensuring that the sport gets the necessary respect it ought to have, from the general public. So everybody must know consequence management for those who are violating our rules. So that's what sport development is really about, as well as, most importantly, ensuring that the talent pipeline from amateur to professional boxing, and ensure that our boxers are developed, as I said earlier on, for life. Not only we must not only hone their artistic capabilities, as boxing is an art, So it must not be just about honing their artistic capabilities as boxers, but we must develop them in totality. In other words, holistic. So if you like, sport development is about holistic development of the sport and placing the boxer at the center. But sport for development is about, there's this theory that sport plays a central role in uniting a nation, bringing about social cohesion and contributing to nation building. So sport for development is about the transformative aspect of the sport, which is about the changing of lives of people who are affected, by the sport. It is about the contribution of the sport to social development, socio-economic development, of the country. It's about those who participate in the sport being a shining example, an epitome of success. It's about them contributing towards improving the lives of their townships, the lives of their villages. It's about them really being a nation builder. It's about producing nation builders as well, not just producing just champions, but it's about producing nation builders. So sports for development is about the contribution of the sport of boxing to the development of our society, to the development of our country, and we must be able to show that sport is not just about fighting in the ring. It's about boxing is not just about fighting in the ring. It's also about contributing to ameliorating, the development challenges of our country.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. Lastly, my last question for you is, having mandated the senior staff of BSA post the strategy and your presentation, what would success look like for BSA going forward post this strategy weekend?
Well, that's a difficult question, but in my view, if we implement everything that we have agreed upon here, the stature, the prestige, the respect of boxing will grow, and once we get into that level, you will then hear the common person on the street talking about boxing and talking positively about boxing. And you will have a situation wherein people want to come to us instead of us wanting to go to them. That's what happens when you build, because we want to build a center of excellence. Now, it's not easy to build a center of excellence, but the beauty is once you reach that mountain top, once you climax Mount Kilimanjaro, then everybody wants to be associated with you. So for me, that's what success would look like. Once everybody wants to be associated with us, once everybody wants to be associated with boxing, you must then know that you are doing something good. But if people, once we have a list of sponsors competing, you get to a point wherein you've got 3 sponsors, and then they compete about sponsoring our belt. And then we say, okay, who's giving us the best deal? And others lose, and they are not happy about. So that's that. But even much more importantly, it's when the lives of boxers change for the better. When our erstwhile champions becomes truly champions for life. When we don't have this situation wherein if a boxer dies, then we've got to talk to the minister, talk to business people and say, can you support us towards funeral arrangements and so on, because we want to get into that. But unfortunately, generally sport is not mastering this, because this is not a phenomenon only in boxing, right across, especially black sport, or because of our history, of course, because we're coming from a very thin base, in terms of wealth, as black people. So hence this idea of sport for development, because sport must be able to change lives.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. That was yet another very informative session with you. Thank you so much for agreeing. I know you're a very busy person. Thank you so much for agreeing to have this sit down with us.